me reflecting on my 4 years of high school and what it's I never say no to them. It's one of the most rewarding. Is very important. Like, no, doesn't matter how much, you argue against.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Hasini Lakshminarayanan. If you're new here, this is the First Step YouTube channel where I interview young children. And also, now just to give a short introduction about me, I'm Hasini Lakshminarayanan, an 8th grader studying in Chetanad Vidyashram, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. And I am the founder of the First Step organization, which is a non-profit organization which basically aims to inspire and motivate children by having interactions with children who have achieved at a young age, in according to my terms, young achievers. And now, to welcome our guests for the day, we have Sam Sambath Kumar from Madurai, Tamil Nadu, India, who is the co-founder and co-CEO at Edprospective and also an author. He believes that success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And I personally, after hearing this, was amazed, and I'm very curious and excited to hear from him, and hope you are as well. So without further delay, let's welcome our guest for the day. Hi, I hope you're doing good. Hi, Sam.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you? I really hope
Yeah,
you're
I'm
doing
good.
well.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting the invitation, and now we can jump back right into the interview.
Yeah, happy to. And I'm really happy to be here, and you're doing a really good job, providing a platform for people to spread their views, ideas, and hopefully inspire other people to do that as well.
Thank you. So, you are the co-founder of a non-profit organization called Edprospective, right? So, tell us about this association. How does it work? What does it aim? And you play a role as a co-founder. What do you do as a co-founder for Edprospective? So,
Right.
yeah, that was my very first question.
Yeah. So Edprospective is a nonprofit that I co-founded, and the other co-founder is one of my classmates and one of my best friends. And it's been really happy. It's been a really good experience working with her on this. And the idea behind the nonprofit is to provide access to elementary educational and vocational training to underprivileged. And underprivileged, that term can mean a lot of things, from like differently abled, orphaned, refugees, economically weaker people, and etc. And since we're dealing with such a wide range of identities and demographics, we try to keep our services general. So in that sense, we don't address we don't focus on a very specific niche. Instead, we try to tailor our services to the demographic that we're handling. And the curriculum development team that we have analyzes the local economy and the demographic, and tries to come up with an ideal curriculum that would uh, comprise of the skills that, to the best of our knowledge, would help them the most. And these skills can be very general and very specific, very vocational, very technical, or so, anything. And it can be communication, it can be design thinking, it can be computer applications, and a lot. So we try to provide what's the best for the demographic that we're handling. And it's been a year and a half since we started this, and when we started it was 3 people working on it. And after 3 to 4 months, we decided to expand. And it's now 15 to 20 people working on it. And I really believe that I could have done more with Edprospective. One of my biggest regrets in like the past 4 or 5 years is that I wasn't able to give a lot to Edprospective. It's not that we haven't done anything significant. It's that we have managed to impact around 250 to 300 people, but I believe that we could have done more, especially with a really good team. And on a personal level, some rough patches, both for myself and the other co-founder, have slowed us down a little bit. But we're really proud of what we've done in the past year and a half, especially with this whole pandemic thing forcing us to go completely online. And as for my role, I'm the co-founder slash co-CEO, and I make sure that all the different teams like the outreach team, curriculum development team, tutoring team, all of these work in coordination. And I'm like, I make sure there is no friction between these teams, and everything works well in coordination.
I mean, that's great. Of course, you should be proud. Of course, as you said, you could have done more, but I believe you gave out your best. Great initiative again. And yeah, I do want to add up something to what you said. I mean, I do want to ask a question, but yeah, we'll come back to that in the later part of the interview. So yeah, I do, I want to move on to the next question now. So you are also a delegate at HPAIR. So what is being practiced in HPAIR?
Right, yeah.
Delegate there.
Yeah, it's HPAIR, and HPAIR stands for Harvard College Project for Asian International Relations. It's basically an organization run by students and faculties at Harvard University, and it is a sanctioned organization by Harvard. And every year they conduct two conferences. One would take place in Harvard and in the campus in Massachusetts, and the other one in an Asian city. And the Asian city varies every year. Like this year, it's taking place in Taipei, and these conferences provide a forum of exchange for bright minds in the Asia Pacific region, to discuss issues regarding economies, geopolitics, climate change, human rights, research and development, and a lot of other things. I was a delegate at a conference this year, the Harvard conference this year in January. That is kind of like an application process for selecting delegates. I got selected, and coincidentally, that was the first time they ever let high schoolers be a part of it. And before that, you had to be at least 18 to be a delegate. And there were a handful of other high school students there. And I'm glad to be a part of this first group to have represented the high school community at HPAIR. And I'll also be a delegate for the Asia conference too. It's in August. At my first HPAIR conference, I had a really amazing time. It was an amazing experience. It was moved online. I could have gone to Harvard, spent a couple of weeks there, but the conference programming team did an excellent job in emulating the kind of experience that we would have had if we were at Harvard actually. I got to meet and hear from a lot of great people like Dr. Tedros, Secretary General of WHO, Abhishek Vechichiva, he's the former Prime Minister of Thailand. Adam Scherer, he's the founder of Siri, and a lot of CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, individuals from prestigious lists like top 30 under 30, 100 most influential women, and a lot of really, really big people, big names, and the opportunity to interact and share ideas with them was really meant a lot to me. And I made a lot of friends there. I learned a lot. I'm working on projects with a few of them I met at HPAIR, and it's totally an amazing experience.
And I hope that along with the team you do more and more. And yeah, I'm very, very happy to interview you as well. And great initiative again. And now you, apart from this, being an entrepreneur, being a part of HPAIR and doing great stuff, according to me, insane stuff. That is how the channel, it is in the history of channel, if you didn't know. But yeah, apart from that, let's come back from it. Apart from this, you also took writing as a passion, so you were also an author. So talk about you being an author.
Right. I have published a book, and I'm working on my second book right now. The first book is an introductory economics textbook, and it is targeted towards individuals in the 10 to 14-year-old age groups. And it was essentially a passion project because I really liked economics, and I liked physics too. And if you know the Indian system, you can't take hard sciences along with humanities uh, after 11th grade. So I was forced to make a choice, and I wasn't granted an exception or anything. So after giving up on economics as a subject, not giving up after being forced to give up on it, I decided to embark on projects. Like, I participated in National Economics Challenge, U Chicago Brattlek, and a lot like that. And this was one such project where I tried to reinforce my interest for economics. And yeah, the reason behind the book is to hopefully promote interest in economics, since we are not that well informed in economics as a subject like we are in a subject like mathematics or computer science or anything. So I think that's one of the reasons why people tend to look down on economics. It's a really interesting subject to be sidelined. So that's the motivation behind writing my first book. It's called Indian Economics for Anyone, and it's on Amazon. And we're trying to get it into Indian markets as well. We are working with a publisher, and it will be published in a month or so. And my second book that I'm working on right now is um, the title situation is totally unfortunate, because after weeks of brainstorming, I finally arrived at a topic, and apparently it is taken. It's called Blending Out. That's what I came up with, but the title is already taken, so I have to change my title to something else. My second book is me reflecting on my 4 years of high school and what I've learned from it. Every experience that I derived out of being in crossroads, making difficult decisions. My experiences, setbacks, my ideologies, and everything. And it's me reflecting and hopefully giving back what I took away from it.
Right. I mean, again, amazing. So yeah, one thing which I learned, interviewing 60 plus children or teens or however you want to call it by now, is that people, it's more easier for a child or a teen to learn from his or her friend than as you might also have experienced it. It is better than learning or seeking help from your friend than seeking it from an adult, right? So yeah, it's the same, I guess. When you get to share your experience, many more get to learn from it, and they, once they become successful, get to share their experience with many more other younger generation. And I guess that is what we aim for, and hope that it happens. So
Yeah,
yeah, again, all the
it
best again.
is. I would like to add on to that.
Sure.
To some extent, doing the things that I do, I don't have much of a guidance or footsteps to follow. I don't have a alumni from my school who had done uh, I wouldn't say out of school things. And I don't have a senior who I could go talk to. It's all relatively new, and everything that I did was pretty much the first time that someone from my city or someone from my school was doing. And now that I have done it, people, when they come to me, they talk about it, and they seek guidance. I never say no to them, because I've been in a situation where I craved for guidance and I didn't get it. And uh, when people come to you asking for uh, guidance, I never say no to them. It's one of the most rewarding experiences.
Exactly. And yeah, you always do want to, at least me, and I hope you as well, you always want to be an example rather than just doing it for yourself. Because end of the day, I aim to motivate and encourage many more people to become like me and to support the next generation. So yeah, it's always best. Now moving on, I guess that was one big vast interaction which I pretty much found very insightful, and I hope the others would also do. So now let's talk about apart from you being the co-founder of a non-profit organization, apart from you being a delegate of HPAIR, right? uh, who is Sam apart from the field you are in, apart from the work you're doing? How you are, naturally at the house. Apart from this, what do you normally do? So yeah, over to you.
Right. Yeah. So apart from this, on a pragmatic level, on an idealistic level, what drives me is that I hope to make the most of what I have. That's like the mindset that you have to have if especially if you're in a resource deprived ecosystem. And you know um, and in general terms, I want to be true to myself. I want to make my parents proud. That's like the drive for me. That's what reinforces my work ethic. It's what makes me show up uh, to my classes, to work hard, get those grades, and then come out of it, work on my extracurriculars, and doing meaningful things. These are the things that drive me. And as one identity that I go by is for advocating for a more liberal curriculum. And yeah, those are like the uh, things that would like, I don't generally like putting definitions over people, but if I have to, these would be like few of it.
Yeah, I can see it from you, and the way you exposed yourself. But yeah, it necessarily is a good thing, and I guess people should also follow. And yeah, I am very much happy to interview you in another way, because whatever you feel right is speaking on, and whatever is true, so which I particularly look for in people. So yeah, again, an amazing initiative. So now let's come back to one challenge, like every kid entrepreneur or child entrepreneur, student entrepreneur, teen entrepreneur, whatever you can name, would face: time management, right? As you have both right now. I hope you do. If not, please do excuse. So yeah, how do you manage time between academic, school, also your extracurricular activities? Academic and school both are the same, but yeah, please avoid it again.
Right. Yeah. Academics is very important. Like, no, doesn't matter how much, you argue against it, it's still an important component of any student's life. And, managing that, I'm not going to lie, is hard, generally hard. Unless you have like a very efficient system in place. Um, you know, Accommodating every activity that you do into 24 hours of your day is such a Herculean task. But instead of trying to work like all day, I try to like maximize my efficiency. So in a sense, speaking in terms of academics, I use like this uh, really specific tools and techniques for like specific subjects that would enable me to get work done fast. And even for like the other work that I do, like for example, there is this organization that we talked about. I'm not allowed to talk about it in on, you know
But
I'm not sure if I can talk about it, but this anonymous organization, we used to write reports usually. And what people do is they like write it. Instead, I type it out. Even for my journal, I don't write my journal. I type it out because I'm like a really fast typer, and I type faster than I write. So like these simple efficient techniques that would save your time would compound over time to give you a lot of saved time that you could hopefully put to use on something more significant, right? It's not like you cut down something that saves a significant amount of time that would give you like a lot of this huge chunk. It's these small bits and pieces that compounds over time gives you a significant impact. Even you can like put a metric over it. I read this in Atomic Habits, right? If you save 1% of your day for like uh, not not that, if you try to become a person better than yourself by 1%, and over 1 year it would be like 1.01 to the power 365, and the author worked out the math and it was like 37%. oh no, 37 times. And if you do that, like 1.30 to the rise to the power 12, if you try to become a better person by 30% every month, 1% for each day, and uh, it would give you something like 10 times. Improving a significant amount over a significant time is far less efficient than improving over a marginal amount in a marginal amount of time. So that's the principle that drives the productivity geek in me. So I try to like save minuscule amount of times here and there, which would give me like enough time to accommodate any unaccounted thing that shows up.
Great. You see here, one true fact is that I'm very poor at time management. But yeah, as far as now, my dad and mom ensures that I experience quite the same. But yeah, for me, I am very lazy to finish my works at time. So I guess this is something which I can follow from now on in order to improve. I don't say this very often, even though I do. I have never followed anything, but this sounds pretty simple as well and accessible. So yeah, I guess this is a great tip for me to improve. So yeah, thanks for sharing anyway. And now moving on, I guess that would be my last question for the interview. What is the one thing you'd want to change in the society and do for the society?
All right. One thing that I would change. Interesting. I can only speak from a student perspective, and in that view, I would probably try to lift the societal pressure on students. I'm sorry. Individualism is not something that is appreciated in like a majority of our country. We're on a good progress, but it is not the norm still. We still have a very long road to travel before we get there. Before we could fit in a liberal curriculum that would allow student to explore and like figure out his interests and do the things that he likes. We can't really blame the system for that too. Like, think about it in the perspective of the system. Like, take for example college. IIT Bombay theoretically receives 1 million applications. Everyone who sits for JEE is theoretically an applicant for IIT, right? If IIT is expected to evaluate every student individually, it's simply not possible, right? How can you read like a 1 million applications? It's practically not possible. However, like, if you see at the United States, where the population is far less than we have, and the students are farly self-selective, they won't apply to Harvard or Stanford if they don't have a realistic shot of getting in. And that drastically decreases the amount of application a university or college gets. And Stanford would receive probably like 40,000 applicants, and that is manageable. They could read, they could add components that would expose the individualistic aspects of a student, and they have this application essays where you can be subjective about what you want to convey, right? Like, they have this prompts: what would you do if you have an extra hour in your day? This is a Stanford prompt. And these type of questions and your response to it could reveal something that numbers couldn't. At the same time, Indian system cannot accommodate this approach because of the sheer number of students that we have. And if there is something that I would do something that would like accelerate our road to a liberal education.
Great. So yeah, that would be a wrap for today. I personally learned quite a lot from this interaction. I hope that people watching this will also find this interesting. If you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below if you do have any suggestions for me. And also, guys, we've launched a new series called The World of Seven Lines. Please do show your support for that in as well as you do. And yeah, that would be it. And please don't turn on your post notification in order not to miss any updates from the channel. Until then, signing off, it's Sam and Hasini here. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, guys, thank you for joining me and hopefully hearing me. And I really hope that you stick on towards the end. And if you like this video, like this, I mean that literally, and subscribe. And if you want Hasini to do any more, if you want her to give any ideas or input, comment down below.